What's up guys, in this video we're going to be installing a new intake on my Focus ST. I've had this janky intake that I got from a guy on Facebook a couple years ago. He shipped it to me for 20 bucks and it fits very poorly. As you can see, there's this and that's supposed to screw in there and it's about an inch apart, and it stretches this box way out of place, and it was actually dented way over here and it may be leaking, and I actually had to cut it and like put it back together to make it the right shape and a bunch of weird stuff. So I've been needing to replace this for a long time. So on Black Friday I picked up this Steeda intake and then I spray painted it white so it would match my car, because I thought a black intake would be boring. So I spray painted it white to match my car, and then I have this red dress-up bolt here that I got from my engine bay, and that's what I'm going to use here to bolt it down. And then I also got these burnt titanium intake clamps here that I just ordered to the right size to clamp down the parts of the intake that are visible. And I just thought those would look cooler than the stock like worm gear like screwed things right here. So I'm going to be keeping this red, there's like red elbow here, but just replacing this part of the intake, and it should fit much better and also look quite a bit better. And I guess let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do, which swapping an intake on this car is pretty easy, you just take off this plug here, and it feels kind of loose down in there, but it feels like it's broken. I'll investigate that in a second. And then you just press these two buttons here and take off that vacuum line, and then I'm going to loosen up these two clamps here to be able to get this off. And then down in here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but down in there there's another clamp that clamps the intake on to the end of the turbo. And I'm just going to have to reach down there, loosen that up, and pull it off. And then I should be able to get the intake out, and then we'll be able to put in the new one. So in order to get the intake out, I took off this torque screw and then the screws underneath those vents there so that I could lift up the cowl and take out this plastic piece so I have enough room to lift up the intake. And then now that that's out, I'll be able to lift the intake up off of the turbo and take it out, and then I'll put the new one in. So I got this hose cut to the right size for this new intake from my old one. You will have to remove that off your old intake if you are also swapping an intake. And the new one, it does come with a hose. This came with the Steeda intake, but it's not long enough for my aftermarket catch can, so I'm using a different hose. But I am going to be using the clamp included with the Steeda kit. So I'm going to go ahead and use this clamp that also came with the Steeda kit to attach this intake to the turbo. And then once it's attached to the turbo and tightened down there, I'm going to move up to the top to install the rest of like the CCV line and the bolt and clamps onto the red hose here, which will go into the airbox. So I was able to get that clamp down there screwed in, and then also got the PCV system hose screwed in back there, and that is nice and tight. And then I also put in this dress-up bolt that holds us in, so the intake is super tight. So now I'm going to put on this red hose and try to squeeze the intake on down inside of here, and then we'll get it all put together with the clamps, and then it should be good to go. So I was able to get the intake completely installed. This titanium burnt clamp was kind of like burnt unevenly on the bottom, so it's kind of hard because I'd rather it show like the blue burnt titanium, so I kind of had to twist it down. And getting this box in here is a little bit tricky, but once I figured out to put this on first and, you know, open it up, you just kind of have to shove it all in there. And this is just a generic 45-degree elbow, so it's not meant for a Focus ST. So, you know, that could have an effect on it. But I really like how the white looks. It's a lot cleaner once you like see the whole car with it. It just looks a lot better than that gold heat tape that probably didn't even work. And now it's mounted securely, so it won't move around any. And I like how the red looks with the RS style airbox, which you can pick up on Nickjoenap design. And you know, the red just goes with all the little red bits I've done on my car. And then I'm going to be adding some blue eventually. I'll have a blue strut bar and the RS brakes and whatnot, so that's kind of why I liked this blue burnt titanium clamps. But that is pretty much it for installing the new intake on the Focus. Please like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Nickjoenap and Nickjoenap Design, as well as you can check out the products like this airbox and the other things we sell on www.nickjoenap.com. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.